And then the starting pitcher that seemingly every Mets fan wanted, um, Freddy Peralta, is now a New York Met, as is Tobias Myers. So let's just get into it. We'll start with the Peralta trade. Not Jonah Tong, sorry, Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams going over on to the Milwaukee side. We get Freddy Peralta and Tobias Myers. Of course, Freddy Peralta. Granted, he's no Tarek Skubal, but he could easily be a number one on a lot of teams. The man was an all-star last year, had a great showing. We'll start with you first, Tom, since you haven't been on the program before. How do you feel about the whole Freddy Peralta trade? Do you feel like we gave up too much? Do you feel like we fleeced the Brewers? Like, what's your opinion?
I think we gave up exactly what we had to give up. I don't think it's a fleece. I don't think. We gave up too much. I think you gave up what you're going to have to give up to get a player the caliber of Freddy Peralta, especially with Brandon Sproat probably had a little bit more like big league ready kind of vibe to him, but you got to give up a pitcher to get a pitcher. And Jet Williams, I know that there have been some people saying that the whole Jet Williams is blocked thing is like a myth, and it's not really all that true. I don't kind of see it that way. I see a lot of positions that Jet Williams plays that are occupied by other people right now. So, as good as he might be, the Mets had to give him up to make this move, because what is the thing like? Last year, we were complaining that the Mets didn't hit with runners in scoring position, but the other big thing that we basically said all year was the Mets had no pitching, like no pitching, and we had to get a guy the likes of Freddy Peralta, and I'm thrilled. Like, I'm thrilled. I was a little bummed. I got back into my old prospect hugging ways and was like, damn, Jet Williams, that kind of sucks. Brandon Sproat, that kind of sucks. But I was like, you know what? The Mets are deep in their farm system. They're a pitching factory. And we got so many position players that'll probably just fill that Jet Williams role that, you got to do it. Even if it's for a rental, you got to do it.
Okay, and Barry, your opinion on Peralta? You think he signs the extension? I know the Mets came out in the media and said they wanted to let Freddie get accustomed to the organization before they start to pursue a potential extension.
I think we have to learn at this point now that whatever David Stearns tells you may not necessarily be all written in, not saying fact, but it's not to be taken like to be etched in stone, right? I think both things could be true. I think he wants to see how Freddy Peralta does in New York, and he's also considering different options in regards to length of contract, AAV, all of these things. So while he's getting acclimated being in New York and seeing how things work, I think they're going to be working behind the scenes to see what number they can be able to get to that's comfortable for both sides to be able to move forward. Because I think, just like me and Tom talked about last night on our show, that because there's so much familiarity here, David Stearns went to go get Freddy Peralta to bring him on the Brewers, right? He developed Freddy Peralta. Freddy Peralta struggled very early on in his Brewers tenure, right? His velocity has increased as he's gotten older. He's becoming, over the last 2 seasons, 173 innings pitched. Last season, 176 innings pitched. So he's starting to become that ace bulldog that you want. So if you're projecting out, David Stearns would be smart to be able to try to lock up Freddy Peralta before he hits free agency. So I think everything is on the table. What Tom was talking about as well in regards to what they gave up was just perfect. I am one of those people that believe that, like Tom, there was just no path for Jet Williams to be here. You would literally have to move somebody to actually give him a spot. And there's nobody right now that you would feel comfortable moving Jet Williams for without him proving himself at the major league level. Like, we've seen everybody else. We really haven't seen Jet Williams. We've heard all of these great stories about him, but we haven't seen him do anything at the major league level. So it's just more of a myth than anything else. I'd rather get a sure player, and that's exactly what we got in regards to Peralta and Myers.
And not to mention, I don't know if this factors into anything, but Jet Williams was a Billy Epler pick. He was not a Stearns guy, and we clearly see how Stearns feels about guys who he didn't bring in or he doesn't develop. So, that's that. A couple of comments here. Good friend of the show, Minnesota Fats. Hey, what's going on? Frankie Diaz, what's up, fellas? Frankie wants to know chances we extend Freddie. So I'll start with you, Barry. From 0% to 100%. What do you think the chances are, and when do you think it gets done?
75%. I think, to be honest with you, we're not going to hear much about it because the Mets like to keep things very close to the vest. In the David Stearns tenure, there are no leaks really like that. So we're not going to really hear anything. Things are going to be quiet. You're going to hear the media put more pressure on what the timeline is more than what David Stearns and Freddy Peralta will. But I believe that I can see things happening before spring training. Not before spring training, before the season starts, just because that's the best way to do it. So there is no distractions. We're not having any questions about this going into the season. Freddy Peralta struggles, and then look what's going on with the Mets. They traded all of this draft, this prospect capital, and he's struggling. Are they going to trade him at the deadline? Is he just kind of quell all of that stuff? You want to focus on camaraderie, chemistry, building a very positive clubhouse, being able to have the players secure, because I do believe if Peralta gets a deal, he feels more secure being comfortable here and being able to just work on his craft. So I do believe that 75% that this gets done before opening day.
So you think this is reminiscent of Francisco Lindor when he first came over, got the deal done in spring training, haven't looked back since?
Correct.
Okay, Tom, what's your opinion?
I think as far as what Barry said, we spoke about this last night. As far as before the season starts, I don't see that happening at all. As far as like a deal getting struck or an extension getting struck, I'd say probably like 50-50 right now. It kind of depends on where we are at the end of the season, because I think that's ultimately what's going to happen. I think David Stearns has shown us that he's going to let the market play out. And what I love about David Stearns is, like Barry said, that there's going to be a lot of media pressure and fan pressure to get the deal done, just so we don't have that hanging over our heads worrying about him walking in free agency. David Stearns is cold-blooded, doesn't listen to a word of that. He doesn't make reactionary moves based on what the media says or what the fans are saying. He does what he feels is right. And what I feel like he's going to do is he's going to be like, okay, Freddie, this is your contract year. Come to Queens, show that you can pitch in New York, give us your all. And then if they can get to a number that fits what the Mets want, they'll re-sign him. And I think ultimately when he's going to be the second pitcher in that free agent class, I think, if I'm correct, behind Tariq Skubal, the fact that he is going to be above 30 or at least 30 going into his 30-31 season next year, that mega deal might not necessarily be there because we see guys in their 30s not getting them. So I think David Stearns is going to do what David Stearns does. He's going to play the market, see what the market dictates, and then he's going to make the deal if the deal fits what he wants.
Okay, so you're more 50-50.
Yeah.